Um, Now that I'm back home, I don't know if it's too late. Could be possibly too late, but I do want to turn it in, just because I don't know. You know, I have to finish it. But something I've learned by coming home and actually implementing the ideas that I learned in class is that you know everyone that I've met that I've actually kind of talked to about a lot of the ideas, they're like, "Yeah, I've thought about that. I never thought about it that way, or something like that." And it's interesting to see that when it comes down to it, these are very simple ideas. And the word brule, bullshit rules, it's actually very interesting to see because a lot of it is kind of like what most people think. It's just they don't have the time or, you know, outside perspective to implement it. I've been thinking, oh, how can I break the rules? And, and I've been doing it in certain ways that, you know, traditionally a little bit excessive, but I've talked to you about them and stuff, and I think you get it. But for the most part, when I was like, oh shit, what do we do? And they would ask me, and I'd give them this almost like really weird answer that you know comes from this class. And the funny thing is that like it works, like I don't. I asked my dad's like, hey, do we keep the house? And I'm like, no, it's not making you happy. I need to grow up, and you know, my mom needs to get better, but that's and keeping this house is just gonna keep us all down. And he's like, huh, hearing you say that, I'm like, he's like, hearing you say that, I think you're ready, and I think you've grown up, and yeah, let's do it. And it's interesting to see that he's like actually gonna do it, and he's gonna get rid of it, right? And so right now, I'm just kind of fixing up the house, figuring out some shit, to understand what's going on, but hmm, seeing that, it's kind of interesting. It's like, what the fuck? Everyone's been thinking about it, but actually following up with it, it hasn't really happened. I know it's the end of the term, and I know this is late, but I don't really care. I mean, I've submitted the narrative evaluation and everything, so hopefully this works. But it's kind of weird to see also that in other parts of my family, you know, the these bullshit rules are kind of keeping everybody in their place and from moving forward. And it kind of comes down to it, and they're like, John, they're like, you need to ignore it and you need to grow up. And I'm like, you know what? For the most part, I never listened to them, but now I am, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of something. It's like to actually, actually taking the lessons from my relatives and be like listening to them. They're like, holy shit, they've been right. I just never been listening, but it's kind of insane to think that like, oh fuck, they've been right this whole time, and this is just my way of catching up, and actually implementing what people tell me to do. And I've been figuring out that like, oh, yeah, they've been right this entire time. It's one of those summers that I just kind of need to take alone. And I have been alone most of the time. Kind of going to work, going to the gym, doing this, taking care of the family. I don't know. It's kind of nice. Really, not much stress, but an incredible amount of stress. it doesn't come off as much stress to me. But maybe for like, that's just because I'm not used to it, but more of just like ready for it, and it doesn't come off as stressful. There's, I don't know. It's just kind of something that I felt when like everything ended, school ended, all that stuff. It felt different. It felt almost like I'm starting another chapter. And I kind of have to think about it as starting another chapter. But for the most part, I haven't. But you know, I'm coming to a realization where I gotta get my life in order. I think I have been doing it. Everything I learned in the class has pretty much pointed me to doing it right, or doing it my way. Also, my family telling me how to do it my way, telling me how to do it my way, when, you know, it's kind of interesting to see that I haven't been listening to anybody until recently, and then when I started doing it, I've become a lot happier in general. But hey, that's life, right? You make mistakes, you move on, you learn from it. That's what I'm kind of doing right now. And for the most part, I'm just kind of chilling. Yeah, I'm actually just chilling. But I've also had the need not to like go at it too hard, you know. I think that was something I needed to learn, was just sit back, enjoy the ride, work through it at its pace, but don't force it. And I have to allow myself just to be like, I'm good where I'm at right now. And I've been doing that. Alright, see you.